Hi, Megan. My name is Sophie Schaefer, and I contacted you because I'm interested in your field and was hoping to ask you some questions about it. I understand that you're involved in lifestyle brand development, creative marketing, and social media, which is something I've been interested in. What's the name of the company that you work for?
I work for Wasserman Media Group.
And what made you choose to apply to Wasserman Media Group?
I've always been interested in sports marketing. It's a large sports agency, full-service sports agency. So with my interest in sports, as well as with my creative talent and love of marketing, it kind of just seemed like the perfect environment for me to work in.
And what is a typical day like for you?
Typical day would be catering to our various client accounts. So sometimes I'll be working on projects for several clients in one day, but most of the time it'll be for a specific client. It just depends on the client and why they came to us, what they need help with, whether it's their marketing strategy, brand development, planning an event, their sponsorship or licensing, whatever that might be. I'm working with, usually by myself, directly with the client. Sometimes I have teammates, internal teammates with me. So yeah.
And did you always know that this was a career path that you wanted to take?
No, I always knew I was interested in sports marketing. I guess yes and no. I always knew I was interested in sports marketing. However, my major in college was graphic design. So I didn't really think after college I'd be working in this type of field. But as my interest for sports marketing kind of became stronger and stronger throughout college, that's the direction I went, leaving graphic design behind.
And how did you find Wasserman Media Group?
I found Wasserman because I went to college in Los Angeles. It was through a family friend. He actually worked in the athlete agency side, so working directly with the agents. And they introduced me to the company, and I started doing research on it to see that they don't only work with athletes, they have to do a lot of brand marketing, and that's when I became interested in it.
How many jobs did you apply to in this field before you were hired by Wasserman?
Oh my gosh. Probably like my senior year in college, around the time you're supposed to start applying for jobs, probably 20 to 30.
That's a lot.
No. Maybe 15 to 20.
Okay, and what's your favorite part about your job?
My favorite part is seeing the satisfaction from a client. So they come to us for help, and as consultants, we're trying to make their business better. So seeing the progression throughout the various term we have with them, all the way to the end of the term and the final stages, see our work really affect the client in a positive way, help their brand grow.
And what would you say the hardest part about working in this field is?
The hardest part, I think, in a sports agency is there's a lot of males, and they tend to dominate the females in this field, especially since it's sports and they think they know everything about sports. So kind of working with those male dominant figures can be challenging at times, but it also makes you stronger as a person, and it's intimidating at first, but by the end of your first year, you can handle them, and so it's bad, but it also helps you grow and become stronger as a person.
And what would you say the biggest benefit of working in this field, and particularly Wasserman, is?
Benefit, I think, is specifically with my job in consulting, I help with a Rolodex of services for my clients. So it's not creative behind the brand. So it's the several different services we can provide, so it's always changing, as well as, I'm not just working for one company, one brand. I get to work with a bunch, so it's always fun and different, and really helps. I get to put my creative thinking to use.
And do you view this more as a job for right now or a career that you'll always want to stay in?
That's a good question. I think right now, in my fourth year, going on to my fourth year, I think I'm actually trying to figure that out right now. If I think it could be long term. I think this company specifically, an agency, or I guess an agency in general, when you start at a very junior level, you can work your way up. It just takes a lot longer. So a lot of times I see people leave, work for a brand, a single brand, and then they come back as more senior level. So it could be that back at Wasserman, but I'm still trying to figure that out right now.
And final question, what's the biggest piece of advice you can give to someone who wants to work in a company like yours?
I think my biggest piece of advice is to, I know it's important to get a job after college, but to really take your time researching something that you're going to be interested in and like doing, because once you graduate from college, work is your life. I mean, you're there, say 50 hours a week, you're around these people who have similar interests, so really choosing your career wisely and making sure it's something you enjoy. And because I think it's really important if you enjoy it, then that's when you're going to succeed and do your best.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
Sure.
Through my interview with Megan, I realized that this is definitely something I want to consider after college. I also learned the importance of keeping my options open, though. Megan did not intend on being in the field that she's in, however, eventually found herself there and enjoys doing what she does. Her advice to me, telling me about the importance of finding a field so that I can do my best, is really great. Sometimes we get caught up in working for the best company in the best field, but since a job is an everyday activity, loving it is more important.